This is a video tutorial about how to do projector and render camera setups in Maya. Here's a scene from Sin City 2. What's happening is that Bruce Willis is walking along on a treadmill, as you can see right here. And the camera is actually stationary. Then we did an object track of the treadmill itself, and then we took that object track and converted it to a camera track by using the reparent tool, and this technique is covered in another video. So I'm going to turn off the green screen now, and so you can see what's happening is, because now the camera is moving, is that we've got an image plane here and it's moving along, and then as we go through the shot, we originally just start off with one camera. We've got a track camera, which we rename projector camera just for convenience, for clarity. And then we duplicate. You can see here we've taken the projector camera, we've duplicated it, and so then we're able to, in the outliner, we put a offset node so that at the beginning of the shot, the offset might be 0 between the projector and the render camera, and as the shot continues, we animate so that the render camera and the projector camera actually have quite some distance away from one another, so the camera is able to fly away from the projection of Bruce Willis. Now, in order to make this work, we have to have the depth of the image plane set correctly, and if we don't, then it'll appear to slide. He'll be side slipping on the ground right here that you can see with the pink checkerboard. So when we did the object track of the treadmill, everything was locking, and then when we things are locked nicely, but then when we pull away, the image plane depth has to be correct, or else we'll get a slide. So the way you do that is we take the image plane, and it has a depth, and the depth is right here. So if we hit copy tab here, or if we hit select, then we can see right here in the curve editor that there's actually animated keys for the depth. Sometimes you'll need keys like every 4 frames, but in this shot it doesn't really matter that much. And now if you look at this closely, the way you know that it's the correct depth is that its feet are on the ground. Another thing we can do is that we have a stand-in at the beginning of the shot. This stand here also stops that we've got the correct size and the correct scale for everything. But the important thing is, notice that the projection's feet are on the ground. If you change the image plane depth here, we can make it go underground with his feet at this farther away, and here we make it go above ground. So the correct depth will have his feet on the ground, and because all the specs will be correct when we go through the animation here, then there won't be any side slipping. So the final step in this, so this can be rendered. So what we do is that we've got the city and the projection. Now, in order to get the projection, so we're changing the size of the projection in Maya by flying away from our projector with our render camera. But in order to reproduce this in Nuke, what we do is, with our current workflow, we'll select the image plane here, and then we select here, and then I hit the image mesh button. So what it does is it takes that image plane, which I previously selected the image, what it does, it actually creates a 4-sided polygon, a rectangle, that's the exact same shape and size and distance animated of this image plane. So when we go through, so then this particular polygon, it has animation here with the expression. You select all of these, and then you'll bake it. I won't do it now, but of course you'd bake it in the normal way with Bake Simulation here. And the purpose for that is, then once it gets baked, then you can export it as an Alembic file, as a .abc file, and bring it into Nuke. So then you can do a projector system, perhaps with Canon, and so then you'll have an animated polygon to project onto, and this can be especially useful if you're working in stereo, where the depth is very, very important for this projection, sort of like what we did on Journey to the Center of the Earth 1 and Journey to the Center of the Earth 2, where our image plane depths in shake or nuke had to be correct, or else the stereo effect would be wrong, and there would be sliding. Another way to project the image onto a card in Nuke, of course, is just use a card node here. In order to get the functionality of that alembic baked image plane from Maya, we'd have to import the image plane Z depth properly, and then it would have the same effect as the previous technique shown.